This is an 18th century carved statue said to be of St. Francis. It was recently damaged in transit. The head had broken off the body, a few chips on the arms. Look at the detail of the carving. You can almost see the skeletal structure. The head has the original glass eyes. They almost seem to follow you as you walk past it. The first step is to remove all the old traces of the old hide glue that was used to assemble it. I'm using sandpaper and a Dremel tool to remove the old glue. I'm applying white glue and attaching the head to the body. Carefully, I use a rubber mallet to tap it into place. I'm going to use a few smaller wood clamps to secure the head to the body. I noticed a hairline crack where the arm meets the body, and I'm rubbing white glue into the arm, which should harden that up. A piece of masking tape is used to pull the arm taut and create a mild clamping. We'll allow the glue to dry overnight. The next day, I'm adding pigment to putty to get as close to the flesh color as possible. I'm rubbing it into the hairline cracks still left from the damage. Now this putty is water soluble, so the next day, when that's dried, I'm going to dampen a rag and carefully remove the excess putty without any sandpapering. I'm going to begin touching up to fine-tune the color match around the neck. A clear shellac is used to fume across the touch-up to enhance the color and to blend in the finish. When that's dry, I'm using fine steel wool to rub down the sheen to make it all match. The repairs are now complete.
So today we're going deep into art restoration.
Ooh.
And specifically, we're going to be looking at this YouTube video. It's by Mark DeVito. And he takes us through restoring this damaged statue of St. Francis. And it's from the 18th century.
Wow, the 1700s.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, it's not just about gluing a broken piece back on. I mean, it's really about bringing history back to life.
Yeah, it is. It's such a specialized, I mean, it takes so much skill.
Yeah, that does.
and knowledge about not just the art, but,
Yeah.
you know, the history and chemistry and all kinds of things.
Yeah, totally. So
It's fascinating.
this statue had a rough go. It got broken the head got broken off, the arms got chipped
Oh, no.
during transport.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, these pieces are so delicate. It's amazing
Yeah.
how they survive it all sometimes.
I know. It's and this one is so detailed. I
Yeah.
mean, the video was saying that you can practically see the bone structure beneath the surface of the carving. And get this, it has the original glass eyes
Oh, wow.
still intact.
Yeah, you don't see that very often.
No, you don't. I mean, that alone.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, how did they even do that back then?
It's incredible. Like, the level of artistry back then is just mind-blowing.
It really is.
We can get that.
Yeah, so the first step in this whole process was removing the old hide glue
Oh,
that
okay.
was used to put it together.
So why did they use hide glue? I mean,
Well,
I guess back in the day.
Yeah, so hide glue has been used for centuries. It's really strong,
Okay.
and it does a good job of holding pieces together.
Yeah.
But the thing about it that makes it so good, especially for restoration, is that it's reversible.
Oh, okay.
So if, 100 years from now, someone needs to take this apart to repair it,
Right.
they can.
Gotcha, yeah. So you're not damaging the original piece when you're taking the glue off?
Right.
That makes a lot of sense.
But over time, it degrades.
Oh.
So it needs
Right.
to be removed.
To make a solid foundation.
Yeah, if you want to make a good solid repair, you got to get rid of all that old stuff.
So it's just like, renovating a house or something. You can't just like slap new drywall
Right.
over crumbling plaster. You need a good foundation.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to start with a solid base.
Yeah.
So that's what this restore is doing.
Okay.
To reattach the head, they use modern white glue.
Interesting. So they didn't use hide glue again.
Right, and I was kind of wondering about that. But they also use clamps and even a rubber mallet
Okay.
to get it perfectly in
So
place.
make sure it's all lined up, right?
Right.
I see.
But so I'm thinking, why wouldn't they use hide glue again? But I guess, these modern adhesives,
Yeah.
they really do offer
Probably much stronger.
much greater stability,
Yeah.
longevity. They're more flexible, which is important because, with changes in temperature and humidity over time.
Right, right. So it can move a little bit with the piece of
Right.
expanding.
The reason I didn't use hide glue in this repair is because the way the head had broken off the neck from the statue, there wasn't enough hide glue in those areas to reactivate that would have been suitable to hold the head together. So I repaired it with white Elmer's wood glue.
He noticed a hairline crack
Oh.
where the arm meets the body.
Okay.
And, he could have just glued it, but he didn't.
Ah, so he reinforced it.
Yeah, he reinforced the whole area
Smart.
with glue.
Yeah, preventative measures.
Yeah, like preventative care for a
Exact.
statue.
Yeah. It's really fascinating, like the foresight that these restorers have
Amen.
to think ahead and say, okay, well, this
Yeah.
is a weak spot. It's going to, break again in the future. So
Right.
let's take care of it now.
Yeah, and it's just amazing, like the thinking ahead and thinking about,
It's crucial.
future generations.
Yeah, it's not just about fixing it for right now. It's
Right.
about making sure it's around for years to come.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now the putty.
Okay.
This is the part that always amazes me.
Yeah, the pretty work is really incredible.
Yeah, so he meticulously matches the color using pigments.
So you can't even tell, huh?
Yeah, so that it blends seamlessly with the original paint.
Wow.
So I was wondering what kind of putty.
Yeah, I've always wondered that too. Like, what do they use? I know there's like, wood putty and stuff, but
Right.
I figure it must be something special.
Yeah, so it's a conservation grade putty.
Okay.
And it's, specifically designed for,
Still keep archival.
yeah, and reversible and stable.
Oh,
for
interesting.
fine. And there are like different types
Oh, okay.
for different purposes. So
Like for big gaps or?
right, like filling large gaps versus like fine detail work.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, depends on what what you need it for.
Wow. So, I mean, these restorers, they really have to be like chemists and
Yeah,
artists and historians all in one.
I know. It's a lot.
That's a lot of hats to wear.
It's amazing. So,
Yeah.
and then they use this water soluble putty,
Oh, okay.
so they can just wipe away the excess
Oh, that's handy.
the next day.
So they don't have to sand it.
Right, and you don't want to sand because that could damage,
An original.
the surrounding area.
Makes sense.
So after the putty, he touches up the paint around the neck,
Oh, okay.
and then he seals it with a clear shellac.
To blend it all together.
Yeah, to blend it all in.
Wow. That's awesome.
And then this is amazing too. Then he uses fine steel wool
keel wool.
Yeah.
What's that for?
To create a consistent sheen across the whole piece.
Oh, so you can't tell what's new and what's original.
Right. Like, because the new stuff might be shinier.
Right. It looked too new.
So he kind of dulls it down a bit.
That's a good trick.
Yeah. It's really,
Clever.
yeah. And it really just shows, like, the level of care that goes into this whole process, right?
It's amazing. Yeah. It's more than just, like you said, it's more than just fixing something. Right.
It's really preserving it.
Yeah. It's about preserving this piece of history.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, with all this effort that goes into it, like, should museums even, should they display replicas instead?
Oh, that's a good point.
And keep the originals, safe and sound?
Right. Because if they're so fragile.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough question.
It is something to think about, right?
It is, yeah. I mean, you want people to be able to see these things.
I know.
But you also want to make sure they're protected
Yeah.
for future generations.
Yeah. So
It's a dilemma.
it is.